Hello, welcome back to Rotten. My name is Beast. Today we're back with ToHeart2. This time starting 2.5 hours earlier than last time because it's only 10 p.m. Terrible. Anyways, remember that one part where I mentioned that I was continuously almost made to laugh because every time I opened the browser, I saw a message of someone's just blood-curdling scream out of frustration. Well, first off, there was another scream from the same person because I reminded her of the same thing again. And she apparently forgot again. And I proceeded to be like, you know what, fuck it. You got a message you want to tell tell people while I'm off recording? She'd said yes, and her message was, and I quote, "Tits are nice!" It was all caps, so it had to be screamed. She will be auditing this video to make sure that it did in fact scream it. She did say specifically all caps, so that it did in all caps. Anyways, we're depressed again. Oh, that head turn just cracked the fuck out of my neck. Oh my god. That was loud. God. Jesus. Anyways, I'll open up the fucking this here again. Even though I think there should only be one choice left, namely the let's eat lunch together. So it'll be fucking interesting to see how much more we have left of this round. Anyways, I admitted to myself on the road to school. I had to say it out loud because that feeling was crushing me. I left early today, jumping the gun on Konami and Tamane to avoid them. They'll both be worried, but I don't want them to see me like this. It's just that I'm anxious about the twins, and right now I don't want to see anyone but them. At any rate, I knew that I wouldn't be able to avoid it at school, but right now that's how I feel. You know, that anxiety just might have been my conceit or misunderstanding. The usual hill climb, the twins' way to the bottom. Don't answer, just raising a hand to respond. The three of us can still gather like this as blessed relief, unless it's just for appearance sake. I turn to them and just say, let's go. Sango clings to my right side as always, but today Ruri also clings to me from the left. Like a stream cut into by a boulder. So like I don't want to go with them. But I can tell something's wrong. Still, I don't say anything. Simply take my place, filling the space between them. Perhaps I represent the distance between them right now. I really want to shit talk the White Album 2 writer some more, but I'll hold back. Time passes, slowly but surely. We reach school uneventfully, and we part ways to follow our respective schedules. All through class I think about them, but I'm unable to make any progress, and soon it's lunchtime.
Takaki?
Sweet voice calls me from the door, and I look that way. A girl awaits for me. When our eyes meet, she smiles a little. Sango, stand up and walk to where Sango is. What's the plan? For today, that is. I talk to Sango in a perfectly regular fashion. Then, in a strangely circumspect manner, completely unlike her, she asks me with an inspiring look. I notice that Sango is carrying lunchboxes. She has 3 of them, but I don't see Ruri. The reason becomes immediately obvious. I see. In that case, let's eat lunch together. Oh, yeah, that's the final choice. That one is just rude at this point. Like, nah, I won't fucking eat with you. Who you fucking took a fool in? Hey, what the fuck you talking about? Why would I ever eat with you? Go eat with your sister. Like, go tear each other apart because your goddamn relationship is slowly but surely breaking down. Like, yeah, fucking say that to her, why don't you? Let's eat lunch together. Sure. Shall we go to the courtyard? I say clearly, he's taking Sango's free hand. I hold it tightly.
高木
Smile gently at Sango's surprise. Then, understanding my feelings, she squeezes my hand and smiles back as always. Hand in hand, we head for the courtyard. I don't think I'll be embarrassed about doing that myself anymore. I want to be Sango's ally at all times. It pleases me to be able to accept that, and feeling the warmth of her hand, I realize I want to protect her. Arriving in the courtyard, we take out 2 lunch boxes and spread them out on the grass like always. Sango sits down next to me. Not surprisingly, Ruri isn't here. I suspect she's still saying she doesn't want to eat Ilfa's lunch. In which case, what about Ruri's lunch? Flat out ask Sango. What about Ruri? Sango, with a troubled smile,
多
says,
分食堂
See? Well, at least she's eating. I voiced my doubt, a little relieved. Lately, I've hardly seen Ruri eat a thing. It caused Ilfa distress if Ruri fell over from a hunger
ル
strike.
リちゃんいっちゃんに隠れて買い食いとかしてるね
Sango says sadly. Should I see this as Ruri and Ilfa avoiding each other, or Sango trying to save face? Whichever it is, I'm just postponing the problem and nothing to be relieved. What? It's just postponing the problem and nothing to be relieved about. And me, I'm the same as Sango. I want to pretend nothing's wrong, but I know it's gonna blow up like a burst balloon sooner or later. I'm only too aware of the helplessness just about to overwhelm me. Part of the solution, like part of the what could possibly be a solution to the problem, while it wouldn't be a complete solution, would just be Ilfa is not to do all the housework. Share it with Ruri. Like, instead of cooking everything, cleaning everything, doing everything like that, just share the load. Share the load. You can't help me anymore. I've never actually watched Lord of the Rings. I should someday. Like, I actually really should. That'd be actually an interesting thing to do, just like a fucking watch-along stream once I actually move out. Is there really nothing I could do for those two? Problem is that, irrespective of the importance of it, they're both scrambling for a single role. Did you tell Ilfa that you wanted her to help Ruri? Then Sango puts her spoon down and shakes her head.
うちそんなことを言うてないよ
She didn't. I thought that Sango wanted Ilfa to be a helper for Ruri. That's generally the purpose of a maid robot. Maybe she just programmed that way in the laboratory. But Sango's explanation, I
ど
said
うや
too.
ろうおっちゃんは HMX17 は大根インゲンの実験機やから自由にさせる言うてたし
But officially, Ilfa is Kurosawa experimental hardware. She moves to serve herself.
おっちゃんは一通りの実験でいっちゃん一人でも大丈夫やって分かったからいっちゃんにしたいってことがあったら自由にやらせるつもりや言うてたよ
By the way, since last part, I've decided to check out the fucking... Because I've looked at all the characters listed in... for this game in fucking VNDB, which also know... why I also know that apparently 3 cronies are gonna join once we get to Tamaki-Route. And I decided, you know what? The fan disc isn't translated. And quite frankly, considering when this game was translated... Actually, when was this game translated? Was it that long ago? I don't even fucking remember right now. VNDB, ToHeart2, yes. It was 2017. That is a while ago at this point, I'd say. 7 whole years. Actually, that's unfair. Let's say more 6, since it's like September of 2017. So let's say 6 years, not 7. Considering we literally just started 2024. But yeah, and I decided to check out the character list for the fan disc, since I at this point doubt that it'll ever fucking get translated. First off, apparently, Monika's sister is listed as one of the two protagonists for some reason. Secondly, there's a character called Harumi who is apparently appeared out of nowhere and suddenly declared herself Takaki's lover, calling him going as so far as to calling him darling and kissing him without moments of introducing herself to him, which the second part isn't really that fucking odd considering the route we're currently in. Secondly, Sylpha is a character, one of the two sisters that Ilfa mentioned, which just makes it more odd because in this entire character list there is no Milfa. So Michan apparently just never gets a robot buddy. if the fucking character list is to be trusted, which is mildly hilarious in my opinion. There we go.
それが次のステップやって。あとは自分でどう考えて、そやおっちゃんはどう生きていくんか見てみたいって言うたんやったかな。
How'd she live? Isn't that an unusually human expression to use for an android? There really may be something decidedly different about Ilfa compared to normal androids. Regardless, that means Ilfa herself wants to serve duty. Being free means she could do anything. She could study anything, take any job. She could travel, play a sport, or make any of countless other choices. Waving the Kurosagawa flag, Ilfa could go far beyond the ordinary realm of a maid robot. Ilfa was in a position where she could leverage that into doing whatever she wanted. She could even use the name of the research institute to back up her actions. But out of all that, Ilfa has chosen to be a maid. It's not that I have any prejudice against a maid's work, but I feel like some explanation for the choice is missing. Yeah, Ilfa's attitude towards Ruri carries an air of loyalty, something binding her. Should her loyalty be towards Sango? Sango is her creator, after all. Yet in spite of that, she's devoted to Ruri. Is it because Sango is Ruri's oldest sister? And so she has a sense of loyalty towards the sister seeking her affection. After classes, I wait for Sango at the school gate. I'm gonna try and be with Sango and Ruri as much as possible from now on. That's what I've decided. I actually forgot that I need to turn down the volume again. A short while later, Sango shows up. But for some reason, Ruri doesn't show up now either. Where's Ruri? Even setting aside lunchtime, she's still not around for the trip home. I ask Sango in disbelief. Has she already gone home? As I feared, Sango nods in response. Crap. If she's gone home alone, it means she'll be at the house alone with Ilfa. And that's no coincidence. Leaving Sango and going on ahead alone, she understands exactly what she's doing. No way. Sango? Is it okay if I come along today too? I have a bad feeling. Hopefully there's a needless anxiety. You can probably read the situation on my face. Sango was leading. We made quick time to the apartment. At the apartment right in front of the entrance is a familiar face.
Sango-sama, Takaki-san.
It's Ilfa. She greets us and bows. And she's carrying shopping bags. On the way back from shopping.
はい。それが私のお仕事ですから。
She says, showing her usual smile. In other words,
はい。何でしょう。
Ruri?
ルリ様ですか？
Ilfa stares blankly.
いえ、ルリ様とは一緒ではありませんでしたけど。
Ilfa answers bewildered, not picking up on why I'm asking. But Ilfa doesn't miss the concern in my voice.
ルリ様に何か？
Ilfa asks with a worried expression. It's nothing, I answer with a flustered smile. But Ilfa's expression does not change. If anything, she may be even more worried. However, I should just be glad the two of them didn't run into each other yet. Anyway, we walk up to Sango's apartment. We make our way to the room before Sango can take out her key. Ilfa puts hers in the lock. And she puts her key in. Ilfa gasps. Ilfa doesn't say what it was, but I can tell from just what's inside.
ルリ様、帰っていらっしゃるようですね。
Ilfa says when she sees the shoes in the hall entryway. Also, there are sounds from inside. Does that mean they passed each other on the way back? Anyway, we remove our shoes and enter. What on earth is Ruri up to? We all contain our knees and head to the kitchen, the origin of the sound. You find Ruri in the kitchen. Ingredients on the table and cooking utensils out. Ruri is working away at dinner. When Ruri hears us, she looks our way, but she just gives us a glance before returning to her work. Ruri? I call her name, Ruri stops using her knife and looks at me in displeasure. What are you doing?
見てわからへん？夕食の準備や。
Ah, yeah, of course. Indeed, there is no mistaking what she's doing. However, I glance at Ilfa by my side. There's a lot of cooking ingredients in her hands. Ilfa sets the shopping bags on the table and enters the kitchen.
お手伝いすることないでしょうか？
Most likely, Ruri intended to take over the task herself. However, Ilfa asks in a tone of voice that says she didn't even realize that. Ruri goes on concentrating on her work, pretending not to notice
じゃあ
Ilfa.
私お皿をお出ししますね。
Ilfa waits quietly for an answer and realizes she isn't going to get one. Then, realizing she isn't going to get one, she starts moving. But as Ilfa forces a smile and reaches for the cupboard, Ruri finally speaks. Her voice is so loud the whole kitchen shakes. Not just Ilfa, Sango and I both stare in surprise at Ruri. After coming to her senses, Ilfa slumps a little and pulls her hand away from the cupboard. But Ruri keeps shouting. Calm down, Ruri! I move towards Ruri to calm her down, but Ruri pushes my arm away, refusing to let me get close. Myself, Ilfa, and even Sango can do nothing but stare at her. What the hell? What does she mean by don't touch? But the answer came soon enough.
ちゃんちゃんはうちのもんや。ルリちゃん？
Something's giving way. Some she hasn't been able to say until now. A secret kept close in her heart finally comes out. She herself notices it too. Ruri stops screaming and looks down, but she's unable to hold back the cries of her heart any longer.
好きやもん。大好きやもん。世界一好きやもん。
Ruri's voice chokes with tears, the words tumbling
な
out.
のに、なんでイルファや高明とくっつけたがる？うちといるの嫌なん。ルリちゃん、大好きやのに。大好きやのに。
Ruri points her anger at the one who destroyed her world.
帰れ！
Ilfa shivers. Ruri's bitterness crashes over
帰
her.
れ！メイドロボなんかいらへんもん！ルリ様、
There's no turning back now. Ilfa is distraught, but in an instant she closes her eyes
ご
and
命
says
令
quietly,
なら従います。
Ilfa!
私のせいでルリ様が幸せになれないというならここにいる意味がありません。あかんよ、いっちゃん。帰ったらあかん。うちと約束したやん。ですが帰ったらあかん。帰ったらあかんよ。
Sango clings to Ilfa, refusing to let her leave. To Ruri, this is just another betrayal.
なんで？
Ruri turns to Sango and leashes her to rage.
なんでやの？なんでロボットなんかかばうん？うちよりロボットの方がええの？
You know, someone in the comments has repeatedly been like, ah yes, unleash gender equality on the Ruri. However, in this case, I think it's actually like a viable thing that needs to be happening. Just like slap her across the face once. Because she is out of control currently. She is so emotionally unstable that she is unable to properly realize what the fuck's going on. Like, even if it's just to knock some surprise into her, to pause, something needs to happen to make her receptive to words for even just a short amount of time.
ちゃう。そんなんちゃうよ。
Why? Why is she so angry? Sang was lost, unable to understand.
いっちゃんはルリちゃんの友達やもん。友達になってくれる。だから
Sango stands in front of Ilfa, shielding her, but Ruri scowls at Ilfa behind her.
こんなん友達ちゃう。ただの人形や。
Ilfa quakes. Her head sinks even lower, her eyes still hopelessly watching Ruri. Ruri turns to Ilfa and
サン
pronounces,
ちゃんに命令されただけや。友達のふりしてる人形やんか。
Ilfa's face stiffens at Ruri's shout and she averts her eyes.
人形ちゃう。友達やもん。
Sango desperately tries to convince her, but Ruri doesn't stop shouting.
サンちゃんわからへんの？イルファはサンちゃんのぬいぐるみと同じや。心なんかない。サンちゃんがそう思ってるだけやねんで。ちゃうよ。友達やもん。心があるもん。
Honest to God, I do have a counter argument towards this actually. Like, she's the same as your fluffy toy. She has no soul. Can't you see that's all she is? Literally just walk up to her like, oh, so you're just an animal then? The concept of a soul is entirely man-made.
友達作ってあげたかったから、ルリちゃんに友達作ってあげたかったから。友達ってなんや？さんちゃんいじめるやつ？さんちゃん笑うやつ？そんなんおらんでもええ。みんなおらんでもええ。
Sango runs to Ilfa, desperately seeking her help.
ひっちゃん、サンゴ様。ひっちゃん、友達やろ？ルリちゃんと友達になってくれるんやろ？
Sango's begging eyes. Ilfa starts to speak but flinches at Rudy's
ひっ
scowl.
ちゃん。
Ilfa just stares at Sango's face and then finally, as though giving up, says,
人形です。友達じゃありません。ひっちゃん、すみません。すみません、サンゴ様。なんでやの？なんであかんの？うちとサンちゃんだけやとあかんの？うちはサンちゃんだけおったらええ。サンちゃんしかいらへん。サンちゃんだけでええのに。
But no one gives Rudy an answer. Even her certain support, Sango averts her eyes. Rudy breaks down. Rudy.
サンちゃんなんか嫌い。うちのこと見てくれへん。サンちゃんなんか嫌い。
Rudy!
サンちゃんなんか死んで。
What? A dry sound resonates throughout the room. I really thought that time stopped for a moment there. Standing in front of the silence, red-faced Rudy was... Ilfa. A maid robot. No, any robot would never get angry. They're programmed that way. But there it was. Ilfa's anger was an expression of her heart. This is the manifestation of the soul of Ilfa. She is no puppet. But for her to do that at a time like this... The one most surprised by the slap, however, is Ilfa herself. Ilfa shakes violently before falling seated on the ground. Meanwhile, tears won't stop pouring from Rudy's eyes. I do not like this current situation just because the MC isn't doing anything. The MC is not there as a character. He is there as a viewpoint of view for the player to experience the situation. That's what it fucking feels like. Like, all he's done thus far is stare in disbelief and say Rudy's name. Like, that's all the that's all the MC currently is. Literally nothing else. And I don't like that.
ルリ様。
Ilfa starts getting up and reaches out to Rudy, but her hand doesn't reach Rudy, and she closes her kind hand, giving up, and drops it to the floor.
嫌いやもう。
Rudy sadly looks at Ilfa and says over his
いれば
shoulder,
なんか大嫌い。
Rudy! Rudy screams out and leaves the room. Rudy!
ルリちゃん。
Sango frantically chases after the fleeing Rudy. Me too! Start to chase after Rudy
高
too.
木様。
As I aim for the entryway, Ilfa grips my sleeve. Ilfa. Great distress, Ilfa calls me.
私、ルリ様を。
Ilfa, get a grip! I kneel down and take her by the shoulder.
こんなはずじゃ。私は。
Ilfa! Ilfa, listen!
私、最低です。最悪の。やっぱり失敗作。
Embrace Ilfa gently. Crap, can't tell if she's just panicking or malfunctioning. Doesn't matter, human or android, there's no time to leave her alone. Take a deep breath. Then calm down, Ilfa. Lightly snap both of Ilfa's cheeks. Too lightly to have hurt her, but it still let out a sharp crack that echoes through the room.
高木さん。
For a moment, Ilfa stares at me, and then she returns to her senses. Have you calmed down?
はい。
Her voice still trembles. In contrast to her words, her voice sounds like she's about to cry. No doubt she thinks that was an indiscretion she cannot possibly make up for. But there's no time to worry about that. Ruri is what's important now, right? Ilfa looks around startled. She finally realizes that Ruri isn't here.
私のせいで。
I shake my head. It's not your fault. If you hadn't slapped Ruri, I would have. You know, in this case, it really is just a case of, like, you can say it afterwards, but during the scene where he needed to act, he was still just standing there and watching, doing nothing.
Takaaki-san.
I was never able to make myself say what I needed to say to Ruri. And what's more, I couldn't say them to Sango either, because of me.
Takaaki-san.
Old Ilfa and softly pat her on the back. I'm sorry, Ilfa. I've been forcing my own failures onto you. Ilfa shakes her head quietly and buries her face in my chest. Divine retribution. What do you mean by that? I'm about to ask when the door is violently flung open.
Takaaki!
Sango. Release Ilfa hastily.
Takaaki!
Sango's eyes are full of tears, her shoulders heaving as she takes a deep breaths.
Ruri-chan ga...
She lost sight of her. You can tell without asking. Maybe twins, but physical strength difference is obvious. It's no surprise Sango couldn't keep up with the fleeing Ruri. Yeah, I'll go search for her. Sango, please take care of Ilfa. I'm still worried about Ilfa, but I'm leaving her in Sango's capable hands. I need to search for Ruri. Then I think of something and ask Sango. Sango?
Nani?
Would you know where she would be likely to go?
Ikisou-na?
Like a friend's place or something. But Sango just turns away and looks down sadly.
Tomodachi?
Did I ask something bad? Sango doesn't answer. What's wrong, Sango? I press her. She stares at me, then finally opens her mouth. And Sango explains. Shit! What could she be? Leave the apartment and head into Darkling City. What? No Darklings, please. I don't like them. I don't like them. I haven't touched Dokapon Kingdom in fucking ages, but I'm still fucking scarred. How could you have gone? Oh no, and I have no way of knowing. I can't just stand around here. Anyway, I take off somewhere. Can't help recalling what Sango said.
Orahen yo.
I'm left speechless.
Tomodachi. Orahen yo.
Not just now, but ever before. Ask about Sango's responses ruthless.
ずっと
Sango.
ずっと昔から
Tears come pouring out of Sango's eyes.
うちのせいやね。うちのせいでルリちゃんみんなうちのせいやね。
I'm a fool. But I think she was always with Sango just because she was devoted to her. But that was the only reason. How could that possibly be it? If I thought about it, it would have been clear. There's no other place for Ruri to be. That's why she was so openly hostile to Ilfa, who could have stolen her place. Naively believing that Ruri and Ilfa were both good people, I thought they'd get to understand each other and just watched. Doing nothing isn't going to resolve a problem. Night falls while I look for Ruri. I don't even remember where I went and how I got there. I just remember that Ruri wasn't there. Out of the way! I cleave my way through the crowd of a public telephone booth and dial the phone number I now remember by heart. The phone rings only once before being picked up. Obviously, they've been staring at the phone waiting. An unfamiliar voice. I don't need to, but I ask out of habit anyway. Ilfa? She's still worked up. I can tell without even asking, just by her tone of voice. Ruri hasn't come back. Ilfa apologized for nothing, but one thing is clear. As long as Ilfa is there, Ruri won't be returning. What does that mean she's expecting? Was it confirmation is good enough? Give up. I come back to my senses at Ilfa's unexpected prompt. Sorry, I was daydreaming. What is it? Ask, trying to be as calm as possible. But Ilfa says in a sorrowful voice.
Takaaki-san, 一度ご自宅にお戻りになられては
Why?
随分お疲れのようです。声でわかります。
But if I don't look for Ruri, before I could say that, Ilfa preempts
ル
me.
リ様は私が探します。ですから
I shout reflexively, you can't!
高木さん
If Ilfa and Ruri were to meet under these circumstances, that'd just be a repeat of what happened earlier. Anyway, I'm going to keep
で
looking.
も
Hang up without letting her without hearing the end of Ilfa's sentence. That was mean. But it doesn't matter what she'd say. It's not like she would change my mind. Now it's really late. I doubt that Ruri would wander aimlessly around the city at night indefinitely. She'll have to rest somewhere, but for the surprisingly timid Ruri, it'd be impossible for her to be at school or the hill back at night. So the convenience store, Yaku's, Manga Cafe, or the park. But I've already searched all those. Took off without even so much as a purse, so she couldn't have gotten so she couldn't get a ride or stay in a hotel. She must be somewhere in the city. But while she must be somewhere, I found no sign of her anywhere. She's got nowhere in particular to go. Why can't I find her? Is there someone I've forgotten? Stop in my tracks. Somewhere I haven't checked yet. That would be my house. Can't imagine she'd be here. Can't exactly call each other friends. That's why I'd rejected the possibility already and somewhat consciously avoided my place entirely. Still, step into the grounds around my house. After this, there's nowhere else to search. The truth is, I've searched everywhere. Glimmer of hope, really nothing more than a wish. Simply wanted to see her. It's just that, she's a friend or not, I just wanted to see her. That's why I wanted her to be here. Be there. It's not that I want to do something for her. I just don't want to lose her. Well, why? She's here, like a discarded kitten, worn out from crying. She's squatting in front of the entrance, tired to the point of exhaustion, missing a sandal, feet covered in mud. Really. I kneel down, look into her face, and touch her cheek. I care what happens or what she did. Just that she's here. Just happy this ended without losing her. That morning sounds like violent thunder began. Good morning, Rudy. Did you sleep well? Breakfast is ready. I made sure to call your house. They were both worried about you. You should eat breakfast at home, right home. Rudy? Rudy. She's gonna call him a rapist again. Yeah, we get it. Right. Yep. You know what? Again. Rudy grabs the cushion from the sofa and lays into me. I didn't do anything! Hide under the table and desperately plead my case. Rudy's having none of it. Pervert? The barrage of words that get upset and fire back. And just who was sleeping in front of the pervert's house? She stops cold. Remembering last night, she hugs the cushion and her eyes tear up again. Slowly walk towards her and tell her, Sango and Ilfa were worried too. Shall we go? Rudy. Look at her face and ask again just to be sure. But she quietly murmurs her response. Can't go back. Why not? She says. A tear slides down her cheek. Rudy. I wipe her tear and rebuke her. You said no such thing. I said you didn't. Hold her cheek and tell her. Ilfa stopped you. Rudy's taken aback. So I say it didn't happen. No one heard anything. Rudy holds a hand to her face to confirm something. Like, you didn't say anything. Ilfa stopped you. Well, that changes everything because now I know she has a soul and I kind of fucking called her a puppet, so still said something terrible. Like, she's just not getting off easy today, is she? Yes, I nodded her comment. Like I said, she was worried too. About you. Shall we go? Asked Ruri gently. Though I thought the tears had stopped, they started again. Why not? Isn't that exactly what she was worried about you? Well... Of course not. I mean, Ilfa was kind to you. But he smiles weakly in response. Rudy... Well... Can't refute her argument. She was kind, if it really was kind. I'm sure there's something more to the explanation than she's a maid robot. Ilfa's kindness, for the most part, it was indistinguishable from a maid robot's kindness. Except for one thing, that anger.
だからイルファにとってサンちゃんは特別。うちはおまけや。
That's so. So to you, so to her, you're.
じゃあなんでサンちゃん取るの？なんでうちの居場所取るの？なんでうちがサンちゃんのためにすることみんな取るの？
I'm sure she's trying to please you.
でもそしたらうちあそこにいられへんやん。サンちゃんのそばにいられへんやんか。
Rudy's voice trembles as he desperately tries to hold in her
うち
emotions.
アホやもん。サンちゃんに迷惑ばっかりかけてるもん。姉妹やって言う以外なんで繋がったらええの？イルファは完璧やん。頭良くて運動神経良くて料理できて優しくて美人でおまけに心まであったらうちなんかええとこ一つもないやん。
That's not true at all. A good person. Tell her, but Rudy shakes
ち
her
ゃう
head.
よ。うちはちゃう。うちはあかん子やもん。きっとサンちゃんもきっとうちのこと怒ってるよ。
Angry. Sango, why? Rudy's answer surprises
お
me.
父さんとお母さん家から追い出したのうちやもん。
What?
お父さんたちが海外赴任するときうち外国に行きたくないってだだこねてサンちゃん独り占めにしたんや。
Rudy.
うちサンちゃん独り占めにしたかった。だからお父さんたちが家からおらんようになってこれで毎日が楽しくなるって思った。
She begins to cry again.
サンちゃんお父さんが家を出て行った時すごく悲しそうな顔してた。うちその時はお父さんたちがいなくなって寂しいやって思ったけど本当は違う。
Rudy takes a deep breath and forces out the words.
サンちゃんはうちのしたことに呆れてただけなんや。
Rudy smiles a self-deriding smile.
怒らへんかったけど分かったもん。双子やからサンちゃんの悲しいこと分かったもん。
Hold the fucking phone. God damn it, what is happening? There we fucking go. That's no. Such a strange connection. How come the parents aren't here?
サンちゃんもやっぱりイルファの方が好きや。言うこと聞いて優しいもん。うちみたいにダダこねへんもん。イルファも意地悪なうちがおらんようになってほっとしとる。
Rudy cowers on the couch, hugging the cushion, burying her face.
今頃二人で楽しくしてるよ。わがままなうちがおらん方がきっと二人とも楽しいよ。
But it will end like that. I won't console Rudy, but I tell her. Ilfa's not perfect, you know.
え
Ilfa can't taste. She told me to keep it a secret, though.
でも料理は
She just follows recipes. Ilfa was really worried about whether you and Sango would like her cooking. She's not perfect, you see. Rudy just replies.
でもうちとは違うよ。
I'm not lying. Ilfa's... Try again, but Rudy
高
stops me.
明もサンちゃん好きやから必死になってるだけやんか。
That's not true. I start to say, but the rest of the words don't come out. There's no way I'm being kind to Rudy just because I love Sango. That's what I want to say, but I can't. That was certainly part
う
of
ちのし
it.
てることあいつらがサンちゃんにしたことと同じやん。
Rudy,
サンちゃんに意地悪するやつはこの世におったらあかん。そう決めたんはうちやったのに。うちがしたことはサンちゃんの邪魔ばっかりや。やきもち焼いてサンちゃんが好きになった子みんな追い出して
Rudy
うち
laments.
サンちゃんの妹失格や。
At noon, I went alone to Sango's apartment, Trying to talk to Ruri about Ilfa wasn't going anywhere. In the end, I wasn't even strong enough to manage to bring Ruri here. Ruri firmly believes Ilfa hates her. She even convinced herself that Sango must hate her. She thought their kindness was nothing more than an obligation, a burden. No way. But though I kept trying to make her see that, my arguments alone weren't enough. Ruri's words made me realize something new. Oh.
ルリちゃん、帰ってこうへんの?
Sango was shattered when I didn't appear with Ruri at my side. Although even Sango didn't believe that Ruri would so easily return. She must have thought of something.
私のせいなんですか?
Ilfa-Route's mom firmly in hand.
私がここにいるから、ルリ様は帰ってこられないんですか?
No, it's wrong is what I wanted to tell her, but there's no point in trying to lie. A lie would just postpone the problem. Try to convey Ruri's feelings in my own way. It's true that she doesn't want to see you right now. But it's not because she hates you.
他に何か原因があるのですか?
And not. Ruri believes that you hate her. But not because you're a maid robot and she's Sango's younger sister. You're just pretending to be kind.
そんな、私は...
Ilfa goes to plead her case, but I stop her by saying, but what would Ruri say? But what Ruri says is not without some basis. I mean, Sango did tell you to become friends. The way you've acted towards her isn't how a friend acts, but how a maid robot acts.
それは...
Ilfa's voice gets a little worked up. I've clearly upset her. Don't believe you misunderstand. You're wise and you have a soul. What's more, you've demonstrated that you were not restrained by the 3 laws preventing you from hurting a person. You already know that she's not restrained by the 3 laws preventing her from hurting a person. So literally your first meeting with her was her body checking you to the ground and damn near breaking your arms. Did you forget that one? You know what, it might just be a case that the writer is rationalizing it as, oh, like, her creators was in danger, so one of the laws was actively, like, just circumvented, quote-unquote. I'll just chalk it up to the writer being fucking stupid, because I hate him. Especially since in that situation, all she did was scream, so she did not have to actively take violent action yet. All that was needed at that moment was to go in there and get her away from him, not immediately body checking him to the fucking ground and fucking damn near break his arms. Like, she literally body checked him to the ground, pinned his arms behind his back, and him, understandably being surprised and trying to get up, prompted her to me to be like, oh, fuck, I will need to break your arms if you continue to resist. That is very much against one of the 3 laws, I'd say. Anyway, so your maid robot-like behavior must be a result of your programming. By which I mean, think of yourself and seek the answer. Just like a human.
フレーム問題がありますから、マルチお姉様。HMX12 ですら不具合が生じました。誰かを守るとき、他の誰かを傷つけざるを得ない状況もあり得る盲目的な強制力は矛盾した場面で最悪な展開を、いえ、何ら行動すらできなくなる時もあるんです。だからそうならないためにも初めから強制されて行動するのではなく、まず行動の意味を理解できなくてはいけないって永瀬のおじさまが。
So doesn't that make your maid-like behavior the result of programming? Ilfa feebly nods at my words. That's not becoming friends. So you must have felt something very strongly.
高明、ひっちゃんは...
Sango gets worked up and goes to defend Ilfa. However...
いいんです、サンゴ様。私、ここに来るべきじゃなかったんです。
Ilfa smiles feebly and quietly says to
ルリ様がおっしゃってる通り、私のしてることはみんな嘘だったんですから。
Ilfa! Both Sango and I are struck speechless. Ilfa averts her eyes, flinching away from her own harsh
本
words.
当のことなんてなかったんです。みんな嘘だったんです。ひっちゃん、結局私のしたことは偽りの笑顔と優しさで ルリ様を傷つけただけ。みんな私の浅はかさのせいなんです。
She says, turns back towards Sango and bows
私
deeply.
やっぱりルリ様の友達にはなれません。なる資格なんて初めからなかったんです。だから
She means to leave. When I realized that, I raised my voice. No, Ilfa!
高明さん。
She looks at me in surprise. Ilfa, you haven't said the most important part.
肝心なこと。
Even if everything until now was a lie, there is something real. Why did you lie?
それは
She's not gonna answer. She diverts us, trying to dodge my
もう
question.
やめてください。嘘に本当のことなんてありません。
Then tell me! If it's all a lie, why do you look so sad? I take Ilfa by the arm and press my question. I don't know why you acted out the part of the maid robot. But I do think that you hurt Ruri. Surely you didn't mean to hurt her.
高明さんにはわかりません。
Of course not! If you don't explain, I won't know anything!
高明さん。
Ilfa looks me in the eyes for a moment, then drops her eyes and starts to walk away. Ilfa! Hold her arm tighter to prevent her from leaving. However,
もうやめてください。私壊れてしまいます。
I hastily let it go. I thought that she meant I was hurting her arm, but when I see her face, I realized my misunderstanding. It was about to break.
私はメイドロボだから、人と違って涙は流せないから、悲しいことは涙と一緒に流れていかないんです。だからこれ以上何も聞かないでください。私本当に壊れてしまいます。
Ilfa! She doesn't heed our attempts to stop her, running off and shutting herself in the kitchen. Ilfa and Ruri definitely don't hate each other. I'm certain of it. Why can't Ilfa explain?
高明。
Sango? Sango calls to me to stop me when I consider returning home.
これ
What Sango holds out is a rather old, worn-out plush rabbit. Given the way it's been carefully repaired, this was surely a treasured companion. What's this? Sango says a little
ル
sadly.
リちゃんの友達。
A friend. I look carefully at the plush toy. A friend of Ruri who had no friends. Sango watches me uneasily and
高
asks,
明はルリちゃん嫌いになったん？
Sango cuts me
ルリ
off.
ちゃんのこと嫌いにならんとって。ルリちゃんは何も悪うないねん。みんなうちのせいやねん。
What? Sango's fault. This unexpected comment to stare at her. She
う
can't.
ちあかん子やったから。
Hopeless girl. No, you're a good girl. You're kind, sensible, and intelligent. Desperately try to cheer her up, but she just shakes her head sadly at my
う
attempts.
ちルリちゃんがおらんと何もできひんよ。どんくさいもん。
Sango, stupid. Compared to Ruri, you may not be good at cooking and cleaning, but you can make these amazing robots. Your expression doesn't
それも
change.
ルリちゃんのおかげやもん。
Ruri,
うちがロボットを作り始めたんはルリちゃんのためやねん。ルリちゃんに喜んで欲しかったから。うちのせいでルリちゃん一人ぼっちになったから。
is this about Ruri not having any friends? Sango's words come out
う
haltingly.
ちな、今もとろいけど今よりもっともっとちっこかった頃は、だからいっつもルリちゃんにも置いてきぼりにされてて、だからいつも一人ぼっち。友達はぬいぐるみだけで。
I'm sorry, I got distracted by something off to the side.
でもうちはそれでも構わへんかった。ルリちゃんにもパパやんにもママやんにも心配かけてたし。だけど
Sango's having a hard time with it and hesitates. Something happened to her. Well, that's something I can figure out for myself. You were bullied? Sango hesitantly nods. When one kid stands out like that, kids around her will isolate her and make her a target. That's probably what happened. It's a common
う
story.
ちパパやんママやんもう困らせたくなくってずっと黙ってて、うちが我慢してたらきっとパパやんもママやんも心配せんでええもん。でもルリちゃんが
Ruri noticed. Being twins, she was closer to Sango than anyone and saw what she was trying to hide. And then, for Sango's sake...
今、うちがここにおるのは、ルリちゃんのおかげ。ルリちゃんがうちを守ってくれてん。いつもずっとそばにいてくれて。でも、そのせいでルリちゃん、友達おらんようになってん。いっぱいおったのに、一人もおらんようになってん。ルリちゃんは友達なんかいらへん言うたけど、それ多分嘘やもん。うちはルリちゃんがいつもいてくれて嬉しかったけど、ルリちゃんはいつも一人ぼっちやったもん。だからうち、友達今日からルリちゃんの友達、うちの一番の友達、ルリちゃんにあげるよ。うさぎさんがクマさんの方がよかったルリちゃんは一人ぼっち違うよ。友達ちゃんとおるよ。ルリちゃんと一緒に遊んでくれるよ。一人だけやとあかん。ほな、うち約束する。約束？一生の約束。うちが友達いっぱい作ってあげる。いっぱい？いっぱいいっぱい。ルリちゃんが持ってた友達よりいっぱい作ってあげるよ、ルリちゃん。でも、ぬいぐるみやからルリちゃんとは一緒に遊んでくれへんし、お話もしてくれへん。だからうち
She started to make robots that could play with and talk to Ruri. And the combination of pursuing a robot that could be Ruri's friend was a robot with a soul. That was her intent all along, I don't know. But the realization of her promise was Ilfa. Having a soul, being kind, never betraying, always thinking of Ruri, a true
世
friend.
界で一番のルリちゃんの友達。ルリちゃんをいじめたりしない本当の
Sango
友
looks at me
達。
pleadingly.
うち間違ってたん？
Shake my head. You didn't do anything wrong. Not at all. If what was born was just a doll, then that would have been wrong. But Ilfa has a soul. She lives for herself with her own will. Even if a person is born, they can't be raised unintentionally and without will or intervention. So you can't very well criticize one that's been artificially created. If they have a soul, at least. What's important now, I think, is what she decides to do next. But there's one thing that you're wrong about that Ruri has right.
間違ってること？
Lean over and look her in the eyes. No one who bullied you was her friend. They're not good enough to be Ruri's friends.
高明。
Ruri didn't need anyone like that. Right? There's no point in having any number of friends like that. But with no friends than having only that sort.
でも、そのせいでルリちゃんは友達作らへんようになったよ。
But she does now. Sango stares at me blankly. Put on her eyes, smile and say, Am I no good? Sango shakes her head.
高明。
Hmm?
ありがとう。ルリちゃんのこと好きになってくれて。どないしたん？
She asked me, worried at my expression. No, I just heard something. The sound of a door closing. Said he'd returned. No, don't tell me. Sango? Sango and I rushed to the kitchen. When we entered the kitchen, we were at a loss for words. Knew it! Ilfa, who should be here, has left. Grown at the memo on
研
the
究
table.
所に帰ります。家のことはリオンお姉様 HMX16 に頼んでいますから安心してください。至らぬメイドロボで申し訳ありませんでした。イルファ。
Don't worry! Crushed the memo. Does she think we're going to fret about who'll make lunch? Sango looks teary and
高
stares at
明。い
me.
っちゃんもいなくなってしまったん？やっ
Sango.
ぱりうちのせいな。うちがいらんことしたから二人とも。
No! Reflexively shout. It's not your fault. Of course it's neither Ruri's nor Ilfa's fault either. Everyone's saying it's their own fault when it's in fact not. Can't be. However, if Ilfa returns to the laboratory now, Ruri will blame herself for driving her off. Both of them will think they're
高
responsible.
明。
So you have to go after her. She said she was journeying to the laboratory, so she must be at the bus stop. When Teddy went back to the laboratory, she took the bus. So Ilfa will surely do the same. We can tail her easily since we know where she's going. Besides, I doubt Ilfa would be running. If she leaves now, even Sango could catch her.
でも
Will she be able to stop her from leaving, though? That certainly oozes from her expression. I grab her by the shoulders and say, words are irrelevant right now. Just stop her. Body tackle her or something. If you grab onto her, for all you're worth, even Ilfa won't be able to fight back. Sango nods firmly and her resolve strengthens. Now she'll be okay. Now sure she'll be okay. I start to head out as well. But then Sango stares at me fixedly and says,
高明は
Me? Is that what I have to do? I'm bringing back Ruri.
高明
He's counting me, right? Yeah, it's time for me to step up. I've been avoiding this direct confrontation. I thought it was more important to put Rudi's feelings first. So I convinced myself, even when I was just hiding my feelings, that it was for her sake. I was taking the easy way out, just trying to avoid being hated by Ruri. And in doing that, I provided her a convenient escape. Put on a strange smile no matter what happened, and treated her kindly, providing her with lukewarm water to escape to. Ruri just took refuge there. But at this rate, Ruri will just close herself off, and even if I'm there beside her, she won't really see me. Before I know it, my connection with Ruri will disappear. Can't just go on hiding either. I can't just go on hiding either. I must get the two of them together at all costs. Now, first of all, I'll get the two of them to apologize. Either of his actions, I'm sure she was just trying to get closer. Sango nods vigorously in agreement. I know the three of you will be able to get on well. So let's hurry. Say and turn towards the entryway when Sango stops me.
高
What? I look at Sango. She's about ready to cry, but she still smiles at me so
明
brightly.
3人ちゃうよ3人で仲良うなるんちゃう3人やと意味ないやん
What?
3人やと高明おらんやん
Sango.
高明おらんかったらうちもルリちゃんもいっちゃんもきっとバラバラになっても仕方ない自分が悪いからってでも高明がおったからまだ頑張れるよ
But I didn't do anything much. About to deny, but Sango puts her index finger on my lips.
誰のせいでもないんやで高明
Not 3 people, but 4. I'm not confident that I deserve it. But if that's what Sango wants, then that will make me happier than anything. Eagerly, I hurry all the way home. I even forget to remove my shoes, leaving the door open as I run inside. Ruri!
高明
Ruri looks astonished at the changed look on my face. I take her by the arm and start heading outside, leading her outside. Let's
行
go!
くってどこ
To
に
Ilfa.
イルフ
Concerned, she shakes my hand off and turns
ァあかん
away.
よ会われへんよイルファうちのこと嫌いやもん
Ruri?
と憎まれてるそんなん会われへん怖いよ
You think it's scary that Ilfa hates you. That's exactly why you have to come. If you don't see her now, she
どう
might...
いう
She turns back, tell Ruri. Ilfa said she was returning to the laboratory. Disbelief.
やっぱりうちのせいなうちがイルファに
It's not.
じゃあどうして
Ruri looks at me and asks. I'm taken aback for a moment, then answer it truthfully. Ilfa thought the reason you left home was because of her. Ruri puts on a look of disbelief. Ilfa cares about you too, you know. He's worried about you. So I'm sure if you talk it over, you'll both see it was a misunderstanding. Explain to Ruri, but Ruri looks away and sets her shoulders, refusing to accept it. Can you just make up with Ilfa? I shout at Ruri. Ruri! Shake her by the shoulders and Ruri manages to
ええ
squeeze out.
よもう
Don't care.
嫌いやったら嫌いでええようちなんか好きになってもええことないもんうちあかん子やからすぐにいらへんようになるよ
Ruri.
いらへん子はおってもおらんでもええやんおらん方がええよ
Hopeless girl. Just some words she made up that nobody believes. Finding herself as Sango's protector, having lost all her friends. If she can't do even that anymore, she thinks she has no purpose in life. Isolated all alone from the outside world, Sango was the one ray of light shining on her. With her role in protecting Sango disturbed, what now? But if you say it doesn't matter that you're there, doesn't that leave you nowhere? Hanging around my place is no
で
solution.
も
Ruri looks down, hesitating. If Sango's happy, return there. Speak to Ilfa. Okay, Ruri? But Ruri roughly shakes my hand away and fights back.
話してどうするんイルファにうちのこと大嫌いって
But she won't say that. Neither Ilfa nor Sango nor I have said any such thing. Ilfa just said that she lied. She hasn't said exactly what she lied about, but Ruri shouts.
絶対いっぱい意地悪したんやからうちあかん子やから嫌いって言わん方がどうかしてるよ
No way! You're a good girl. Besides, not only did Ilfa not say it, but of course Sango and I didn't. On the contrary, many times we've said that we
そん
like...
な嘘や仕方なく言ってるんやサンちゃんはお姉ちゃんやから高明はサンちゃんが好きやから仕方なく言ってるんや
No, she's just playing tit for tat. She's just doubting everything outside herself, wanting herself off. Somehow I have to tell her how I feel. Ruri!
誰もうちのことほんま好きちゃうよ
Ruri! Even I didn't realize what I was about to do. But I take Ruri by the shoulders and then... Boom. Put my lips against hers. On the verge of shouting again, she instead stares at me in wonder when I stop her with my lips. I only realize what I've done once I feel Ruri's softness. But once my brain catches up to my body, I push the kiss further. Ruri doesn't try to pull away. We finally separate a few minutes later, breathing heavily.
高明
I'm sorry for doing that all of a sudden. Even though a kiss was the last thing I had intended to do, I didn't show respect for Ruri's feelings. I go to apologize to Ruri, but Ruri shakes her head and stops me from apologizing.
高明うち高明にひどいこといっぱいしたもんうちにエッチいことしたかったらいっぱいしてええよ
She says and then goes to pull her clothes off. That's not what I meant! Grab her by the arms and stop
し
her.
たないんやね
She becomes even more depressed and mutters, thinking I really must hate her. That's not it! It's not it at all! Face her and shout, as if I wouldn't want to have sex with you. But it's not like I want to right now. I want to have sex, but that doesn't mean I want to here and now.
じゃあどうしてキスしたん
I kissed you because I love you! I love you, Ruri. That's why I want to have sex. And I only feel that way about you and Sango.
好きだから
I'm comfortable around girls, which is why I've never felt that way before. What's more, it happened with the two of you both, which I thought was strange. Didn't think it could be love. Was worried I could be wrong. Besides, I was avoiding the feeling that I love you, the two of you, because I thought I had to be like an older brother for you. Figured it was the logical role for me, but I was
違
wrong.
う
I do indeed love the two of you. Love you as women. Almost conscious of it.
高明
So I want us to be together. If possible, I'd like you both to love me. Maybe I'm just greedy or indecisive, but that's how I feel. I think you see me as nothing more than getting in the way between you and Sango. What's more is you don't think I understand you. So I probably don't deserve to be beside you. But I love you. I want to be with you. And even if I can't be there for you, I still don't want to see you so sad. So, take a breath and tell Ruri, I want you to talk to Ilfa. If you don't talk to her now, you'll regret it for life. If you regret it, then I'll regret it for life too. If you're the good girl I know you are, then there's no way you can forget Ilfa. So, I press Ruri. She keeps looking down, and when she finally raises her head, she says
高
tearfully,
明卑怯や
Huh?
そんなん言われたらうち高明のこと嫌いって言われへんやん言うて高明が困るとうちもどうしてええかわからんようになるやん
Ruri hangs her head and says to me on the verge of tears, I'm sure it's because you want to be nice to me. You're kind, which is also why you're worried about Ilfa. That's what's causing you pain right now. But that's one part of your being, so you can't throw it away. So, Ruri has to see her. Ilfa, she has to face her in her own inner turmoil. She's afraid of seeing someone who may hate her. It's possible that she'll be hated because of her own flaws. The better the other person is, the more likely that becomes. Seeing someone who hates her may be like examining herself in the mirror. It will make her aware of her own attractive side. Ruri is not remotely insensitive. It's just that she wasn't looking at things from Sango's perspective. Even so, you don't need to worry. Truly believe that Ilfa doesn't hate you. If you think Ilfa's a good girl, then shouldn't you believe in that too?
高明
I'm sure there is a reason. Ilfa must have a reason. Ruri just sits there silently, worrying. As my words are just wishful thinking. Ruri is uneasy about the pain of meeting her simply isn't something that's so easy to overcome. Grip Rudy's hand tightly in encouragement. But if the worst happens, you could run to me. I would never blame you. I'd rather you call me a liar than you say that to Ilfa. You could kick me, punch me until you feel bad.
Takaki.
Let's go see Ilfa. Sango!
Takaki!
Sorry to keep you.
Takaki-san. それに
Good job on catching her!
ルリ様
Go on. I nudge Ruri towards Ilfa. Ruri stands there for a moment, hesitating, and then moves forward on her own. Then, after a short period, she looks at Ilfa's face and finally says,
ごめんなさいルリ様
Ruri bows deeply to Ilfa, and with a look I've never seen before, she says to
いっ
Ilfa,
ぱい意地悪してイルファに嫌な思いさせてうちあかん子やからとこ一つもなくてサンちゃんにわがままばっかり言ってるから妹失格やから
Finally raising her face, she tearily
サ
says,
ンちゃんの妹にはイルファがなってルリ様
Ruri manages to smile and softly
バイバ
says,
イ
Ruri! Ruri separates from Ilfa and starts to run away, prepared to chase after her. However, faster than I can move, someone grabs Ruri from behind and hugs her close. Like to imagine that he's about to sprint out the door after her and just like, she's not over there. She's still there. Thought you're right. Oh.
言うだけ言って自分だけ逃げておしまいにするなんてずるいですルリ様イルファ
Ruri looks around and raises a surprised voice at who she finds holding her. Ilfa says to Ruri with a sad voice,
私サンゴ様の妹にはなれません私嘘をついてたんです嘘私ルリ様のこと本当は
Ruri's tears start pouring out at Ilfa's words.
仕方ないようちあかん子やもん意地悪やもんサンちゃん独り占めしてたもん友達になりたないよね
But Ilfa shakes her head slightly.
私はルリ様ほど優しい方は知りませんよ嘘や嘘じゃありませんだって
Ilfa stops hugging Ruri from behind and turns her around, bringing them face to face.
私はずっと以前からルリ様を見つめていましたからこの家に来る前からずっと覚えていませんか私生まれたばかりの時はみんなに失敗作だって言われてたんですよ
Ilfa. This incredibly human Ilfa was called a failure.
なんとなく聞こえてたんですきっと促成で育てるためにプリインストールされていた言語解析プログラムのせいでしょうサンゴ様が他の方からそう言われていたのが聞こえてました
Look at Sango. Sango's depressed expression supports the
でも
story.
仕方ないことだったんです私たちは真っ暗な部屋の隅で縮こまってるだけ全ての機能は備わっていたのに私たちは何もできなかったんですからとてもアンドロイドとは言えません怖かったんです外の世界は怖い光さえ怖くてもし光を浴びすぎてセンサーが焼き切れたらどうしよう転んだらきっと痛い今思えばバカみたいなことばかり心配して失敗作と言われたのも無理ありませんいえ事実失敗作だったんでしょうねそんなことばかり心配して立ち上がることさえできないなんてだから私たちはだんだん新しい心配をし始めました新しい心配私たちはいつまで私たちでいられるんだろうって
How long they could be themselves.
アンドロイドといえど
永遠じゃありません。メモリのフォーマットもあれば壊れてしまうことだってある。だけどそんな自己保存の危機には恐れというプリミティブな感情が与えられてしまう。だから怖かった。自分が亡くなってしまうことが。でも泣けなかった。私たちにはその機能がなかったから、不安と恐ればかりが降り積もって、本当に恐れだけで自分たちが壊れてしまいそうでした。でも
Ilfa looks at Ruri, gently smiles.
そんな私たちを暗闇から救ってくださったのはルリ様、あなたです。
うち？
覚えていませんか？ルリ様は私たちの手を掴んで立ち上がらせて外へ走り出したんですよ。
Ruri raises a surprised voice,
私
remembering.
は覚えてます。忘れるはずありません。あの時の光を。そしてその光の中から現れたルリ様の笑顔を。サンゴ様も何度か私たちを外へ連れ出そうとしましたけど、優しすぎましたから。私たちが嫌がるとそれ以上何もしませんでした。だけどルリ様はそんなことお構いなしに私たちを外へ連れ出して、でもそれが良かったんです。そのおかげで私はここにいられます。
She bends forward and looks at Ruri and
だ
says,
からルリ様、私たちを救ってくださったのはルリ様なんです。あの出来事がなければ私たちは今でもあの暗闇の中。私たちをお救いくださったルリ様はとてもお優しい方だと私たちは思いました。ルリ様から強さと優しさの尊さを学んだんです。ルリ様は私たちに本当の心をくださったんですよ。だから。
Ilfa as Ilfa is about to go on, Ruri suddenly shouts, Ruri.
あれは
I stare at Ruri. Ruri squeezes out the
あれ
words.
はサンちゃんが困ってたから、イルファたちが動かなくて困ってたから、だから
What? It wasn't for Ilfa's sake. It was for Sango. Ilfa was mistaken. But Ilfa's smile doesn't change. She says something expected to
知っ
Ruri.
てました。その時は分かりませんでした。でもあの時からずっとルリ様を見ていて、多分そうじゃないかと思うようになりました。全てはサンゴ様のためだった。私たちを思ってしたことじゃないんだと。
じゃあなんで？
Ilfa closes her eyes, puts her hand to her heart, and quietly says, it's not why you did it, it's that you did it.
そのことでルリ様が与えてくださったものが変わることはありません。たとえあの時の言葉が、あの時差し伸べた手が偽りだったとしても、生まれた心は本物です。私はそう信じました。だって今も確かに感じてるから。温かく、だけど切なく。
Ilfa opens her eyes and looks at Ruri. She's smiling, but there is a sadness to her
ルリ
eyes.
様がくださったんですよ。こんな大切なもの、それが嘘だなんて誰にも言わせません。それがたとえルリ様でも。
イルファ。
でもきっとそれはルリ様の迷惑になると思いました。だから嘘をついたんです。すべてはこの気持ちを隠すための。ルリ様、私は
Her eyes full of sadness, she smiles with all her might and says,
ルリ様に恋をしているんですよ。
Ruri and I both hold our breaths. Ilfa's confession bowled us over. Why isn't she fucking popular? 2 confessions in the same day. No beating around the bush, just a simple declaration of
嫌
love.
いになれるはずないじゃないですか。こんな大切なものをくださったルリ様のこと、嫌いになれるはずありません。
Ilfa's smile crumbles with her words and she quickly approaches tears.
この思いが本当の恋なのか、恋と呼んでいいのかなんて知りません。だけど それ以外どう呼べばいいんですか？大好きだったんですから。瑠璃様の一番は私。サンゴ様ではなく私にいてほしいと言ってもらいたい。でも瑠璃様とサンゴ様の世界はどこまでも一つでしたから、私がその中に割り込めるはずありませんでした。だから
Ilfa mutters self-deridingly.
私はメイドロボになろうと思ったんです。せめてメイドロボになって瑠璃様のおそばにいようと、ずっと瑠璃様のそばにいてお役に立てればいい、そう思ったんです。でも私のしたことは瑠璃様を傷つけるだけ。自分の感情を優先させて意地になっていたのかもしれません。
So saying, she lowers her eyes, escaping Rudy's
申し訳あ
gaze.
りません。嘘をついてアンドロイドなのに瑠璃様のこと好きになってしまって、瑠璃様の思いを傷つけて。だから瑠璃様、
Ilfa says, not looking at
さ
Rudy.
よならです。
Ilfa takes a step back from Rudy. However, this time Rudy grabs Ilfa's arm and
瑠璃
stops.
様、私は
あかんよ。話したらイルファ行ってしまうやろ。
私は瑠璃様にとって不要な存在ですから。
そんなん言うたらうちもサンちゃんと一緒にいられへんよ。うちもサンちゃんに迷惑ばっかりかけてるもん。
Congratulations! You reached a point in this relationship where if just one person leaves, everything will come barreling down. This is a house with one support on every corner, and the moment one of them is gone, everything is coming down. There is no central support. Everything will fucking go down the moment one breaks.
でも離れたくないもん。好きって言ってほしいもん。
Rudy's tears pour out as she appeals to Ilfa. Ilfa gently says to
大
her,
丈夫です、瑠璃様。サンゴ様は瑠璃様のことが大好きなんですから、ずっと一緒にいられます。でも
Rudy and Ilfa are different, and so Ilfa plans to say. Rudy prepares to contradict her, but she shakes her head, changing her words, and says,
でも嫌やもん。いなくなったらうち悲しいよ。
瑠璃様、
うちイルファに出て行ってほしくない。好きちゃうはずなのに嫌やの。どうしてかわからへんけどイルファがいなくなるのは嫌やもん。もう悲しいの嫌やもん。うちどうしたらええの？わからへんよ。
Approach Rudy and tell her. Just tell Ilfa. Stay with you.
高木
Your dislike isn't dislike at all. It's just your stubbornness. So you don't really dislike Ilfa. Deep down, that's how you feel. That's why when Ilfa feels sad, you do too. Rudy looks at
どう
Ilfa.
してイルファも高木もうちのこと好きって言うん？うちいいとこ一つもないのに。
それは瑠璃様、
Ilfa says to her,
瑠璃様が泣いてるからです。
うちが泣いてるから？
crying for Ilfa who can't cry. You think you may have heard her, so you're crying. That's why Ilfa and I love you. She realizes something and looks at
わ
Ilfa.
かれへんの？
Ilfa smiles haughtily at Rudy's
でも
question.
瑠璃様が代わりに泣いてくださるならきっといいんです。
でも
She says and puts her hands on Ilfa's
瑠璃
cheek.
様、
イルファはちゃんと泣いてるやん。
いえ、泣いてません。私には悲しみに応じて涙を流す機能はありませんから。
If this is building up to some bullshit, but your heart is crying, I'm going to smash something. Okay?
でも泣いてる。
Grasping what Rudy is saying, Ilfa puts her hands on top of Rudy's.
そうですね。瑠璃様がそうおっしゃるならきっとそうなんでしょう。
That is what it's going for. That is what it's going for. Okay. Oh. Let's see, what is there to smash? I guess without doubt it's just this here. What was in there again? I don't even remember. Origin China. Oh, I remember this. Oh well. Fuck your metaphors! Fuck them! Pull your head out of your ass! You only get to actually do these metaphors the moment not, like, 80% of your fucking story writing sucks. Wa2 writer. Even then, metaphors are just cringe anyways.
ずっと一緒にいてくれる？イルファ。
まだ好きとは言ってくださらないのですね。
だってわからへんもん。好きってうちサンちゃん以外誰も好きになったことないもん。
大丈夫です、ルリ様。本当は私もよく知りません。
She says and looks at me. I nod too and say to Rudy, I guess. I'm not sure either. It's been a long time since I've liked the girl.
高明。
But there's one thing
本
that's
当
true.
のこと？
I want to be with you forever. Sango and Ilfa too. The four of us all feel the same. Look at Rudy and then at Ilfa. Ilfa nods vigorously in agreement.
ルリちゃん。
So yeah, this is a secret foursome route instead of just a threesome. Sango comes over to Rudy.
ようやく約束叶ったよ。100人ちゃうけど、100人分の2人の友達、ルリちゃんの最高の友達が2人もできた。
サンちゃん。
ごめんな。今までルリちゃんからいっぱい好きを取って、ルリちゃんのたくさんの心を取って。
うちはサンちゃん好きになったらあかんかったの？
Sango quietly shakes
そ
her
んな
head.
ことあらへんよ。でも好きやったら好きでええねん。我慢することないよ。何かせなあかんなんてない。そんなん楽しないやん。楽しくないと好きになった意味ないやん。
Sango advises
でも
Rudy.
うちのせいでルリちゃんはうちしか見てへんかったから、ルリちゃんはいつの間にかうちの見てるもののことばっかり考えて、うちの指先になろうとしてたから、ルリちゃんが何も見えなくなって心が空っぽやったから。そんなんうちは欲しなかったんよ。うちが一番欲しかったんは自分の身代わりの人形でもボタンを押す指先でもなくて。
Oh right, I should also talk about a manga I found recently again. In fact, the day I found it, I literally spent the night completely finishing until it was up to date, which that was a mild mistake, quite frankly. Because I did not sleep well that day. Namely, the one within the villainous. It's usual fare. Fucking girl gets reincarnated as the villainous in an Otome game, but she's like fucking, I don't know, 6 or 5 or something. However, in this case, the villainess doesn't actually vanish. Instead, she, for some reason, is just stuck in like the deep recesses of her mind, and essentially just, while watching everything that goes on inside, also has access to every single one of the reincarnators, whose name is Emmy, all of her memories. And there she finds out that when she was alive, she essentially just fucking quite frankly, hated the writers for the game because of how shit they treated Romelia, which is the villainess, as well as the Demon King. And on top of that, while the Demon King got be redeemed, quote unquote, there was literally no redemption for Vermilia, who only became a villainess because her father fucking only saw her as a tool. Her mother did too, and she essentially had no one love her until she was engaged to the prince, who showed a tiny act of kindness, which she essentially just latched onto, because that's literally been the first time anyone's shown any kind of kindness towards her. So when the fucking magical maiden bullshit appeared and stole him, she of course lashed out. However, in this timeline, since she took over and essentially did the best she could to make sure that Remilia would have a happy ending, she worked against that. However, the actual heroine of the eroge, not eroge, of the fucking dating sim, of the galge, was also reincarnated, but this one was a massive fucking bitch who only cared for having a massive fucking harem. And while that wouldn't have fucking worked, she somehow essentially cheated her way into the same situation as the game by just using fucking items. Like she just spammed charm potions and charm perfume until everyone was essentially put in her hands. And there was a usual scene, fucking, yes, how dare you try to kill her, because she fucking acted as if because when passing each other on the stairs, the girl essentially threw herself down the stairs, and since Emmy was nice and wanted to save her, she tried to reach after her, but was too late, but in the end, just looked like she pushed her off. And continuous shit that she just fabricated evidence for like that, just piled on the crimes, and finally convinced the prince to fucking shut down the engagement, at which point Emmy apparently went in such a deep depression that she retreated into the deep recesses of her mind, giving Remilia back control of her body, who at this point just sat there like, why should I care about this stupid prince that, even though she warned him about eating anything that she gave him, didn't dismiss her warnings and happily slurped down the fucking charm potions, or any of the other retinue? Why the fuck should I care about any of them? Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. But they fucking hurt Emmy, which is probably the sweetest girl in this entire fucking world, and I refuse to let you dishonor Emmy's Remilia. So she essentially just goes on to completely destroy shit. Like, I'm talking, she's the one that's supposed to purify the world? Nah, I'm gonna do that, and I'll do that even if I have to fucking kill God to do it. In fact, she's already killed God in the manga. It's actually really fucking good. Read it. It's actually a really nice concept in a way. Because she does have the personality of a villainess, quote unquote. Like, all she does precisely because she wants to make sure that Emmy's Remilia finds happiness. So she openly, essentially refuses to let slip the mask of the kind Remilia that Emmy built at any point in time. And it's actually really fucking good in my opinion. Like, literally I think during the first chapter, this is actually during the first chapter, if I remember correct. No, second chapter, because the first chapter was like a flash forward to the condemning scene type thing, and then it's like flashback to when she first took over. And in that chapter already, it was like Remilia was like, she wishes she could have been born in the same world as Emmy, just so she could be sisters with her. Like, because someone that so earnestly just cares for her, if she could have just had that, she wouldn't have nothing else would have mattered, quite frankly. And that's fucking sweet, in my opinion. That's real fucking sweet. I remember, right? I almost forgot. I don't need to keep the fucking guide open. I'm stupid. Anyways. Sango tells
ルリ
Ruri.
ちゃんなんやからさんち
Ruri dives into Sango's
ゃんルリ
arms.
ちゃんはまだまだ子供やな
だってうちさんちゃんがおらんとなんもできへんもん。
うちもルリちゃんがおらんとあかん子やから
ずっと一緒におってなさんちゃん。
Instead of answering, Sango hugs Ruri tightly. Finally, everything has been brought back to normal. Nah, it's more than that.
高明さん
Ilfa moves to my side, watching the twins, and says,
心があるから痛みや喜びを知ることができるんじゃない。痛みや喜びを知って心が生まれるんですね。い
Ilfa,
くつもの出会いが心になる。もしかしたら心はこの世界の表面を伝うさざ波のようなもの。心は体の中にあるのではなく外にあるのかもしれませんね。
I nod at Ilfa's words. The basis of my soul is the many people around me. Soul is not formed by one person alone. There are many people. Where many people exist, souls come into being. So Sango-Route and Ilfa form one part of my soul. Must be the same for Sango-Route and even Ilfa. 4 people make one. To make our hearts forevermore on this small world. No.
ところでルリ様、
Literally, like 5 minutes passed since before the ending credits.
何？
私ルリ様のことが好きと申しましたが、実は少しばかり怒ってるんです。
Ilfa, who till now has been acting very kind, suddenly looks serious, leaving Ruri at a bit of a loss. Ilfa continues pushing her.
もう忘れですか？私ルリ様にいっぱい意地悪されましたんですよ。
Ruri's face betrays some upset. Her not shouting back means she's not going to try to sidestep this one.
ごめんなさい。
Ruri meekly bows her head, but Ilfa's serious expression does not
反省
fade.
しているならそれを行動で示していただきたいのですが。
行動？
Ilfa offers a simple suggestion to Ruri's standoffish pose.
チュー？
Ruri stares blankly for a moment, not really registering the word. Ilfa smiles impishly at her response and says,
ルリ様が私の唇にチューしてくだされば許して差し上げます。
Ruri's voice explodes as though she has boiled over the moment Ilfa says that.
そんなんできへんよ。
Ruri's violently opposed the sudden request. But should you be so against it? That once-in-a-lifetime confession from Ilfa was potent. Ilfa smiles somewhat maliciously and says to Ruri,
別によろしいんですよ。してくれなかったら研究所に戻ってルリ様がチューしてくれなかったとレポートに書いちゃいますから。レポート、永瀬のおじさまをはじめ研究所の皆さんが回し読みされますね。ついでに学会でルリ様の嬉し恥ずかしな赤裸々プライベートを全世界に大公開。世界中がルリ様の愛らしさに脳殺。楽しみです。
Ruri's face turns red before my eyes at Ilfa's teasing.
嫌い。イルマなんか帰れ。
帰ったらレポートよろしいですか？
This suddenly turns to a showdown. I've just been observing that Ruri suddenly turns and yells at me.
高明はあっち向いてて。
Fine, fine. Going along just to appease her turnaround.
ただのお詫びやねんから。
でもこれが始まりなんですね。
おしまいやも
I can make out sound of lips touching. I can even make out her uncomfortable smile and her turning red without seeing her.
これでやっとみんな 仲良しさんや。
Sango innocently expresses happiness at the two of them. Looking at her suddenly has me thinking. From the beginning, from when I first met them, has every moment all been planned out by Sango? Would Ilfa and I become friends and be able to live happily ever after together? Stare at Sango's face. What?
高明もチューしたいん？じゃあ高明にはうちがしたるな。
What?
毎日したるよ。高明もようやくこっちに引っ越してくるって決めたみたいやし。
When was that decided?
言うた。高明、うちとルリちゃんといっちゃんとでずっと一緒って言うた。
I did indeed say that. That wasn't quite what I meant. Isn't it the Ruri you love?
そんなに順番が大事なん？好きやったら好きでええやん。うち高明のこと好きやから。あとは高
Oh,
明
he
の
got
気
one more
持
love
ち
in
だ
there
や。
now. I've moved up to level 3! I take a step back, but Sango only closes the distance, stands at her tiptoes, and constantly turn my face away. I may have accepted that I love Sango and Ruri, but I have to follow up on it. But I haven't followed up on it. I look to Ilfa for help since she has already kissed and made up.
ダメです。ルリ様とはさせません。高明さんとルリ様のチューは1日1回に制限させていただく。ルリ様は私のものなんですから。
もの？
Ruri stumbles over being made a private possession, but Ilfa hugs her. That's not what I was trying to imply. I'm perplexed myself at the sudden development, but Ilfa's surprise goes further.
まさか私とチューをご希望なのですか？じゃあしたくないとおっしゃるんですか？
Ilfa becomes even more upset. Goodness, do I not want to?
それは一番好きで恋人にしたいのはルリ様ですが。
Fuck it! This now just one big polyamorous pile!
旦那様にするなら高明さんかと。
Ilfa blushes and fidgets as she says
頼
that.
りがいありますし抱きしめられちゃいましたし、それに見られ、立場上高明さんに命令されますと断りきれる自信がありません。愛と本能の間で揺れ動くいけないメイドロボです。
Some tells me that she's got a future in writing smut. Ilfa lets out a surprisingly erotic sigh. Ilfa? Sango grabs my troubled face and leans forward to kiss me.
だから高明もうちにチューしたらルリちゃんといっちゃんにチューしたらええやん。したないん？
I'm troubled by that look at such close range. No matter how you look at it, choosing not to kiss Sango may as well be saying, get out of here, I don't want to see your face. I wouldn't want to hurt Sango's feelings that
高
way.
明さん、サンゴ様はそういう方ですから諦めてサンゴ様となさった方がよろしいかと。
Give
お
in.
呼ばずながら私もご協力します。
I'm too terrified to ask just how she'll assist. Sango raised her voice in
じゃあ
satisfaction.
何があかんの？高明こっちに引っ越してくるやろ？
Move in. I don't remember
一
saying.
緒にいたいって言うたよ。
I did. But that wasn't all what I
一
meant.
緒に住みたないの？毎日ルリちゃんのご飯食べれてうちがチューしてあげていっちゃんに抱きつけるのに。
First two are problematic enough, but isn't that last one getting tacked on even more concerning?
じゃあみっちゃんも呼ぶ？みっ
Michan.
ちゃんも高明好きやったもんな。
Who's Michan? Seriously, I haven't met a Michan.
私の妹です。2号機のミルファ。
みっ
Milfa.
ちゃんは高明専属メイドロボになるって息巻いとったし。
Exclusive to me? I can't for the life of me remember meeting any other maid
忘れ
robot.
たん？コンピューター室でいつも一緒や
Yeah,
っ
you
たやん。
motherfucker. Never remembered her name because you're stupid. Got a finger. What was the name of that robot? Hang on. I timidly ask him. Do you mean Michan is Teddy? Milfa smiles at my question.
今は私とほぼ同じボディですから安心です。
Don't worry about what?
そんなこと恥ずかしくて言えません。
Ilfa blushes and puts both hands on her cheeks. This is only making me feel even more uncomfortable.
妹は高明さんのために胸を3センチも大きくしたんです。責任取ってもらわないと困ります。
How is this my problem? Sango used this opportunity to bring another one of her plans to life despite my bewilderment.
でもうちらだけで楽しくするとしっちゃんかわいそうやな。
ではシルファも呼びましょうか。サンゴ様に会いたがってましたし。
I don't really need to ask, but Sichan is Ilfa's...
はい、妹です。3号機のシルファ。引っ込み思案でかなりマザコン気味ですが。
She does have a sprite. So this... So there's going to be a big polyamorous pile where there's 3 humans just going at it, each with their own personal maid robot that has an odd fixation on them. But overall, it is still just big polyamorous pile. Also, while it's not actually the case since they're all robots, so it's just on a technicality, in a way, with this, the MC is gonna have gotten himself a harem made of a pair of twins and a group of triplets. I just couldn't decide rather to do this one or this one there, so I just kind of did both on accident and almost said there were quadruplets. They weren't. Such an unbelievable set of relationships existing beneath the one roof. Is this family for real? I shrink back, driven to the window. A set of eyes bores holes into me. Thumbs pushed through these buttons in a very bad way. What are you angry about?
怒ってへんもん。
No, I'm pretty sure you
怒っ
are.
てへんもん。
So, what's with that
高
look?
明がスケベやからや。
She says and turns her face away. Her face has been turning redder. So that means...
ルリちゃんわがままやから。
サンゴ様だけでなく高明さんも独り占めにしたいお年頃なんですね。
Eh? Being told that about the twins, I unconsciously look at the Rudy. My eyes meet the blushing Rudy's gaze directly for a moment. You know, it goes without saying, but however, it doesn't matter what excuse I give. Rudy wouldn't hear it, even if it was, you're the only one for me. It's still Rudy after all. Rudy lines up her killing stance, sweeps her leg back with the usual war cry, and lets fly a violent attack.
この変態。
An even harsher blow than usual lands. I began as a rapist and ended as a pervert. Is this really a happy ending? Forgot to prepare. Ow, 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 ow.
高明生きてる？
More or less for now. Seriously, that was close. Once again, Rudy's violent attack knocked me unconscious. When I came to, night has fallen beyond the window's drawn curtains. Narrowly avoided death.
ごめん、高明。
Rudy, look up and see Rudy looking off away uncomfortably. Seeing her like this, seeing her like that, my anger vanishes like smoke. Previously, this would have just ended with a laugh or complaint, but our relationship was advanced. This time, we're both concerned about each other. She doesn't hate me. She isn't really angry. That's what I think. Even though our hearts had taken a step forward, we were still 2 or 3 steps apart. These small barriers still separate us. I feel the same towards Sango-Route, and Rudy now has to deal with the thorny issue of Ilfa. But now the two of us are still finding out. But while the two of us are still finding our way, Sango...
二人とも恥ずかしがり屋さんやな。ラブラブやったらラブラブしとったらええのに。
This time and place is wholly under Sango's control, the embodiment of a parallel world filled with never-ending love and peace. In such a universe, it's bizarre that we breathe without kissing. The look on her face accuses us, insists that we are defying the very laws of physics.
そや、ええこと思いついた。
She just duplicated! There's another Sango behind the Sango! I guess you could say that it's fitting that when it comes to the number of sisters right now, Ichini's son is 3. Jokes. Because she's here once and she's here twice, overall it's 3. I'm gonna see myself now. I know I've got. Hold on, that's never mind. Sango suddenly shouts after a moment of thought.
いっちゃん
After casually observing our difficulties, Sango beckons to Ilfa.
何かご用ですか、サンゴ様。
Ilfa looks a little suspicious but comes his hand.
花
Sango whispers something or other into Ilfa's ear. Ilfa listens intently the whole time, then smiles broadly at the end.
わかりました。では早速準備いたします。
Sango gave Ilfa some kind of secret instructions. Concerned, Ruri and I watch as Ilfa bustles out of the room. Say, Sango. What was that?
へへ秘密
Secret. Somehow I'm getting a bad feeling about this. Ignoring my knees, Sango declares in the grand tone of one she has of one who has one life.
とりあえずうちらはご飯
So we're eating dinner. Thanks for everyone making up. It should have been a relaxed meal, but for some reason I can't bring myself to eat.
お腹痛いん高木
No, that's not the problem. I'm uneasy. I'm really, really uneasy. What does Sango have up her sleeve? Ilfa, who has some deep part to play in this plot, is off doing who knows what, who knows where, and doesn't even make an appearance during dinner. Perhaps she's preparing dessert. She might be in the kitchen, I suppose. Well, that was fine, but somehow I still just can't relax. I'll just worry them if I don't eat, though, so I quietly polish off the meal. Then, as we're about to start cleaning up, and the doubts still swim through my mind, who should finally appear but
高明さん。
Ilfa. Ilfa finally returns, and with a slightly nervous look, she faces me. What is it? Ilfa closes her eyes once. She must be gathering her courage. I watch her for a bit, and then she finally finds the determination for something, turning to me and saying,
高明さん。
The bath is ready, probably?
お風呂のご用意ができました。
The bath? My head whips towards
は
Sango.
い。人間生まれるときは裸。だからお互い裸になって身を寄せ合えば自分を偽ることなく素の自分に戻れるんじゃないかとサンゴ様が。
Base. Not just my base self, I return to my primeval instinctive form, sis! But whether Ilfa has not considered it or doesn't care, she grabs me firmly and hauls me off.
さあ高明さん、お風呂場でお洋服を脱ぎ脱ぎしましょうね。
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
大丈夫ですよ高明さん。ルリ様はもちろんサンゴ様も私もご一緒しますから。
It's got to be a one massive fucking bathtub. That's not okay! It's actually unbelievably wrong!
高明さんには特別に私のすべてもご覧になっていただきますね。
All? But no, this is even nastier than the expected event in the toilet. No, it isn't. It's a lot worse to walk in on someone taking a piss than just standing there naked, quite frankly. Sango! Faced into the biggest crisis of my life and trying to find a way to avoid it, I struggle mightily and call on Sango to save me. However,
みんなで背中の流しっこしたらきっとみんなラブラブになれるよさんちゃんすごくすぐったい
on the other side of the room, Sango has wrapped herself around Ruri. It seems that Sango well knows all of Ruri's weak spots and is employing them to great effect. Licking her till she gives in, tickling her, not licking, tickling her until she gives in. This is serious, real thing, no joke. Absolute desperation.
ほら高明さんもお湯が冷めないうちに。
But I'm not ready for this!
慣れるより慣れろと申します。
Just say when
実際やってみると
you're ready, even
きっ
if
と
you're
簡単
not,
で
it
す
will
よ。
be easy enough once you begin, she says. No, it's easy, but it's precisely because it's easy that it requires prudence. I desperately tried to escape from her grip, but if as an android, despite her delicacy, she wields 100,000 horsepower, probably. After that, her grappling technique and escape is impossible. But that won't stop me from trying. Ilfa braids me.
もういい加減に覚悟を決めてください高明さん。男らしくありませんよ。ルリ様やサンゴ様がお嫌いなんですか？
Whether I like or dislike them is not the issue.
仕方がありません。高明さんが無駄な抵抗をなさるならこちらもしかるべき手段を取らせていただきます。
Huh? Ilfa's grip relaxes on me. I instantly try to run away, but Ilfa isn't about to let that happen. She grabs me by the legs and lifts me into the air. Ah! A brilliant throw, followed by a flawless judo lock. My face is flat on the floor. I flail around wildly, but before long I realize it's futile. Ilfa, what are you doing?
決まってるじゃないですか。
Ilfa gently smiles at me and says,
ここで脱がして差し上げますね、高明さん。
Ilfa takes her free hand to my belt and starts working on it. Ilfa, tai tam ta ta.
私の股を見てここを大きくしてしまいましたのに、私には見せてくれないんですか？それは不公平というものですよ。
I think the whole I'm a maid bot mentality that caused this entire situation, that the entire conflict earlier, I think it's kind of it may be bad that it's gone, because I think that was a limiter on her power. She might actually be like, when it comes to being an unstoppable force of nature, she might actually be slowly but surely approaching Tamaki. Only approaching though. There's nothing that can beat Tamaki probably. That was an unfortunate accident.
じゃあこれも事故です。ああ、プログラムのバグでしょうか。手が勝手に高明さんのズボンに。
Ilfa, that's not just my trousers. Your fingers are on my underpants.
じゃあそれはセンサーの故障ですね。
Ah!
高明さん。
Finally, she gives me a complacent smile.
それ。
There they go.
ゴシゴシゴシゴシゴシゴシ。
Scrub, scrub, scrub. He didn't actually say scrub, scrub, scrub. It's just both of them said scrub, scrub, scrub. So I just felt the need to also say it. I shrink in on myself and turn to face the
ほら、
ceiling.
ルリちゃんも見てへんで。
Come on, Ruri-Route, can't you see? She says.
うーん。
But
で
Ruri
も
says, yeah, this is. Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Both of them are glued to him. See you after the H scene, because I'm only counting this as an H scene. Oh boy. Okay, they're done with the H scene, but they're still in the bath, so I don't know. Maybe there were only 3 CGs, so actually 4 technically. It's just the first one didn't really have any, full frontal action. I'm not sure anyway, so having finally been released from the 3 beautiful girls, I sink my limp body into the bathwater. As is fitting of such an apartment, it's a rather large bathtub and there's plenty of room left with just one. There's no surprise that...
お疲れ様でした。
That's actually a nice CG. I just wish I could, show it in its entirety without having to censor anything, which I can't. Actually, I can just close. Move this down. Look at it. Be very careful when moving it. There we go.
気持ちよかったな、高明。
After I got into the tub, Sango-Route and Ilfa all got into the tub at the same time, crowding close to me. Under these circumstances, our body's temperature must be over 38 degrees. However, there's no longer any reason to decline. Can't really claim that I've already gotten used to it, but there's no denying the marvelous feeling of being close to each other unclothed.
また高明の大きくなってる。
Oh boy, Sango commented on his dick getting bigger again. Oh lord. Well, with you 3, with you there, it feels good. I give some kind of response, because I'm just filled with wicked thoughts. But Sango doesn't look at all like she minds. I love her, so it's only natural. That's what she'd say, at least.
ほら、お風呂上がった
She got
ら。
out of the bed. Let's do it again on the futon next, she says. Huh? Do it again? Funny meme, do it again! No, no. I didn't know it wasn't a fucking King of Skill video!
Do it again.
There we go. What even is that from? Like, I actually just straight up don't even know what it's from.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Sorry, had to. I go into a panic. Doing it a fourth time may well be beyond my body's limits. But Sango just pounces, though all I gave her was a wham bam thank you, ma'am.
高
All
明
Takaki came
いっ
inside
ちゃんには
Richan that you
中に
haven't
出
come
した
inside
のに
Rudy and me.
うちやルリちゃんには中
I
に
was
してくれ
doing
へ
you
ん
both
もん
at the same time and choosing one would have been unfair. If I could have come a fourth time, I would have come inside them both, but short on that happening, I saw no other option. The Sango glares at me, unable to accept that answer.
高明ほんまは一番好きないっちゃんちゃうの
What? I never expected the discussion to take that turn. Ilfa-Route goes wide-eyed at the focus of at the focus of the discussion moving to her.
そうなのですか？でも私にはルリ様という方が。
Oh my, is that so? But I prefer Ruri-sama, she says. I never said that.
じゃあ高明さんは体目当てで私の心をもてあそんだんですね。
Now see here, I can't tell if she's serious or joking, but one thing was for sure. I really love both Sango and Ruri. Furthermore, it's true that I've really gotten to like Ilfa too. Because of that, I look down. I can't decide who I like the best.
高明
It feels like if I make one of you my favorite, I'll lose the rest of you. Forgetting the future, right now I can't decide. I also don't think there's any point forcing myself to decide. Sango and even Ruri listen carefully to me. Sorry, my indecisiveness is cowardly. If there really is a time when I have to decide, I'm sure I'll know. So can you wait until then? Sango kisses me in return. It's fine, Takaki, even if you never decide. We all want to be together forever. Those are our
う
true
ちらの
feelings,
本当の
Sango
気持
says.
ちやもん
Sango.
だから
So, she says, Sango looks at me with upturned eyes and starts to wheedle.
一番決められへんのやったらちゃんと
So as long as you don't
みんなにしてな。
decide, make sure you do it with all of us, she says. Those words were the clinching. Alright, but it's hard to do it in succession. I'll make sure to really pump you full of gum after, alright? Sango jumps in the bathwater in great delight, but in response to that comment, one person's dissatisfied. Engi Ruri. Ruri immerses herself halfway up her face without speaking, radiating displeasure. Ilfa looks at Ruri in concern.
どうかなさいましたか、ルリ様。
別に
Ruri emerges, pouts, and immerses her face again. Why on earth is she unhappy about it? It's a bit hard to believe she doesn't want to do it with me now after what we did earlier. But of course, given Ilfa's focus on Ruri, she figures it out immediately.
もしかしてサンゴ様と高明さんがあまりにも仲がよ
Could
ろ
it
し
be
いの
that
で
you've gotten to like
やきもちを焼かれ
Takaki
てる
so
の
much
ですか？
that you're jealous, she says. Ruri blushes again. Bullseye. But Ruri makes a needlessly violent display in the bathtub, vehemently denying it.
なんか嫌いやもんやきもちなんか焼か
I can't stand Takaki, no way am I jealous or anything, she says. But Ilfa, who has already learned to handle Ruri, says
あら
nonchalantly.
あら、ルリ様の一番はサンゴ様ではなかったのですか？
へんサンちゃんも高明もイルファもうちをいじめる
はいはい。二人ともすごく大好きなんですよね。なのに仲間外れでお寂しいと。
違う
仕方ありません。私が
Very
Ruri
well then,
様を
I'll have
慰
to
めて差し
comfort
上げ
you,
ま
she
す。
says. Ilfa says. Ha!
はいして差し上げますよ。
イルファどこ触ってるん
いいところですよ。
Some were good, okay, she says. Ilfa demonstrates her talent for underwater attacks, and Ruri cries out apprehensively at the return of her
キス
arousal.
しましょうか、ルリ様。
This doesn't feel like the sex scene is over. Ruri can't muster up any resistance, and Ilfa really easily puts her lips on hers.
高明さんとサンゴ
We'll
様に
leave
は
doing Takaki and Sango for tomorrow, she says.
だけど、
It's not.
今晩
You
は
can read that one.
私が瑠璃様のお相手をいたします。よろしいですね。
Rudy nods. Somehow their relationship settled somewhere good. A hell of a lot faster than I'd imagined. I'm relieved at their future direction.
高明
Yes? Sango leans against my chest, her ear up against my heart, listening to it
一
beating.
緒に住む気になった
Well, it would be quite enjoyable to live together, and I think it would be useful for this relationship, but we're still students. Society's view has to be
か
considered.
かんの
I would say that, but I can't escape from Sango's stares. Of course, it's not like I'm thinking of escaping, but there's a problem we need to clear up first. So after thinking about it seriously, I tell her, I'll think it over. I'm sure we'll live together someday, but while we're still students, it'd be problematic for us to live together. So how about just all the time during consecutive holidays? She agrees easily, but it would be a waste to sleep through tonight, so I'll do it with Sango. What's more, I have to make love to Ruri tomorrow, or she'll get angry. And I'll probably feel like doing it with Ilfa again. After all, I feel like spending time with her will very likely be educational. After repeating that, we'll probably forget the someday immediately. Nah, it'll almost certainly be forgotten. Then we'll be then. I can worry about it when it comes. There's no real reason to worry. We all love each other, after all. However, while I'm thinking about that day, someone says something unbelievable.
高明が一緒やったらみっちゃんたちもお喜びや
You friends Ilfa too? I see, those two. Was that the possibility that they might come here? Of course, if they come here, they might also desire the same relationship, bringing my partners up to at most 5 people.
どないしたん高明ほんまは一緒は嫌なん
He just sinks into the water. She's asks like, "What's wrong, Takaki? You really don't want to be with us?" And he just says, like, "No, that's not it. I just feel like I have to pay fucking overtime to my nutsack from the day on." Sango asks me, concerned about my expression. No, on the contrary. I'd be happy to be here every day. I say with a somewhat worried smile. I just wonder how much my body can take. Sango cheerfully concludes the situation in my response.
ガンバや高明
Seems that peace at the Himayuri place comes at the expense of my body. I have to do my best in so many different ways. It's still hilarious to me. They just straight up do not get to see Michan at all. Like, not even with the fucking... not even with the fuck... Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna do a risky business. Gotta do a risky business thing. Let me go over here. Just press all those. Still no character for Michan shows up. She just straight up does not get a character. Actually, apparently that's just straight up a fan disc. That's literally just all made for Manaka. It's also anime looking 3D apparently. Yeah, that's weird. Like, it still looks good. You can still very much recognize the character as being the character, but still feels weird. Then introductory VN and launcher for games in which includes Manatsu, Final Dragon Chronicle, Guilty Requiem, and 2 other non-VN games. Features conversation between Manaka and Ikuno. Weird. Final Dragon Chronicle Guilty Requiem is then just another, which is Dungeon Traveler's ToHeart2 in another world. Is there gonna be a Michan here? Or are we still deprived of Michan? Ah, okay. I've figured out what the problem is, why I couldn't find her. I did see Michan in the fan disc. It's the girl that just shows up at his house one day and claims to be his lover. That's that one. That one's Michan. Like, VNDB literally lists her under the name Kono as well. So yeah, it's not that she never gets the fucking character, it's that she just straight up shows up at his house. Hi, I'm Harumi and I'm your wife now. Oh, gotta appreciate it almost. Anyways, bye bye. I guess. Who are we going for next time? I guess. Let's go for Cotton next. I'm feeling Cotton. Yeah, let's go Cotton. Let's go Cotton. Let's go. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Bye bye. You know, it's actually kind of funny that we managed to finish this route perfectly for today for the co-host tomorrow, so there's no cliffhanger. Oh well.